Section 1. The Invisible War: How Your Energy is Being Stolen Without You Knowing. Energy is everything. In this modern world, we've learned to measure life through visible metrics: money in the bank, hours worked, steps taken. But there's one invisible currency that quietly governs every experience you have, every decision you make, and every feeling that moves through your body: your energy. Energy isn't just a mystical or spiritual term. It's the raw power that fuels your thoughts, actions, emotions, and even your ability to dream. When you wake up tired, feel emotionally drained after a conversation, or can't focus despite hours of rest, it's not time that's failing you, it's energy that's being stolen. And the scary part, you often don't even know it's happening. The energy you never knew you were losing. You were born radiant. As children, we burst with life, force curious, wild, untamed, but somewhere along the way, that light dims. Not because you aged, but because life started to leak your power. You didn't notice it at first. A small compromise here, a toxic conversation there, a people-pleasing habit formed. A stressful environment endured. All these tiny cuts don't seem deadly individually, but collectively they siphon away your fire. You might still be functioning, but you're not thriving. If you've ever said, "Fever, I'm just tired all the time. I feel like something's off but can't explain it. Why do I feel empty even when life is okay?" Chances are someone or something is stealing your energy. Who or what is stealing your energy? 1. People. There's a reason we call them emotional vampires. Some people don't recharge through solitude, they recharge by draining others. They leave you feeling exhausted, anxious, or resentful. They don't have to be evil. Sometimes they're just unconscious. The friend who constantly complains but never grows. The family member who guilt trips you for not being available. The co-worker who dumps their problems onto your lap. 2. Distractions and digital overload. Your attention is currency, and everyone wants a piece of it. Scrolling endlessly, binge-watching, or falling into the algorithm's trap isn't just killing your time. It's draining your brain's ability to focus and function. Every ping, every ding, every swipe, it's pulling small fragments of your energy away. 3. Your environment. Messy rooms, toxic workplaces, loud cities all affect your nervous system. Your subconscious is constantly scanning for threats, even if you don't notice. And every ounce of energy spent on alert is energy lost from creation, joy, and clarity for your own thoughts. Yes, even you can be your own thief. Self-doubt, overthinking, comparing yourself to others, worrying about the future. These inner habits silently drain you more than any external source. The hidden nature of energy theft. Energy theft is sneaky. It rarely announces itself with a siren or red flag. It shows up subtly. You dread answering certain calls. You leave a conversation and feel inexplicably tired. You open social media and suddenly feel less than. You go through your day and by night feel like you've run a marathon without moving. Why is this so hard to detect? Because the modern world normalized energy theft. We've been trained to ignore our intuition. We're told to toughen up, stop overreacting, or be grateful for what we have. So we silence our inner signals, the ones warning us of what's draining us. We learn to cope instead of confronting. Real talk. This is a silent epidemic: burnout, depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue, emotional numbness. These aren't just random mental health issues. They're symptoms of a deeper truth. Millions of people are running on empty. We've built lives that look good on paper but feel awful in the soul. That's the consequence of letting others siphon your life force for too long. And it's not just about being tired. When your energy is low, your decision-making gets foggy, your creativity shuts down, your immune system weakens, your relationships become strained, your spirit forgets how to dream. The cost is high, too high to ignore. Your energy is not unlimited, and that's the key. Let's bust a myth. You do not have infinite energy. You might have big dreams and a strong will, but your energy is a finite, sacred resource. Think of it like a phone battery. You wake up with a certain percentage. If you waste 70% of it by noon on low-vibe conversations, social media scrolling, and internal battles, how much is left to create, grow, love, or even enjoy life? The difference between high-performing, aligned individuals and the rest isn't talent, it's energy management. You either own your energy, or the world will own it for you. Awareness is the first weapon. You don't have to radically transform your life overnight. The first step to reclaiming your energy is simply noticing where it's going. Ask yourself these questions honestly. Who do I feel drained around even if I like them? What tasks or commitments do I dread, but still do out of guilt? Where in my life do I say yes when I mean no? What part of my environment feels heavy or chaotic? What thoughts keep looping in my mind without resolution? These questions are mirrors. The answers may sting, but they are your freedom codes. You are allowed to protect your energy. Here's the truth you never learned in school. You are allowed to be selfish with your energy, not in a cruel or dismissive way, but in a sacred and intentional way. Saying no doesn't make you mean. Setting boundaries doesn't make you cold. Walking away from energy thieves doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you sovereign. When you reclaim your energy, you become magnetic, grounded, and alive again. You're no longer surviving, you're creating, healing, attracting, and that version of you, they're unstoppable. In the next section, now that you understand how invisible energy theft operates, we'll go even deeper in section 2. You'll learn about the daily energy leaks that drain your power bit by bit and how to spot and seal them with precision. Because once you become aware of the leaks, you gain the power to patch them and to rise fully into your energy again. Section 2. Daily energy leaks, the tiny holes that drain your power. The truth about energy loss, it's not always loud. Most people imagine that energy is stolen in big dramatic ways, like a traumatic breakup, a toxic job, or a life crisis. But the truth is, your energy doesn't just disappear in huge bursts. It leaks quietly, slowly, consistently, every day. Imagine having a water bottle with a tiny hole at the bottom. You won't notice it at first, but by the end of the day, the bottle is empty, and you don't remember using the water at all. That's what daily energy leaks do to your spirit. They hide in plain sight. They disguise themselves as normal, but their damage is anything but normal. In this section, we will explore the everyday habits, interactions, and unconscious behaviors that steal your energy without you realizing it, and how to finally stop the silent bleeding. 1. Saying yes when you mean no. Let's start with a simple but dangerous habit: people pleasing. Every time you say yes out of guilt, obligation, or fear of being disliked, you betray your own energy boundaries. You smile, agree, and show up, but inside, a part of you is shrinking. That tiny compromise chips away at your life force. Think about how often you agree to plans you don't want to attend, help others at the cost of your own rest, avoid expressing your true needs in a relationship, keep quiet to avoid conflict. Each time you abandon yourself to comfort others, you leak energy. Energy leak remedy. Start practicing sacred boundaries. Saying no with love is an act of self-respect, not rejection. 2. Checking your phone first thing in the morning. This is one of the most damaging modern rituals. You open your eyes, and before you've even taken a breath of gratitude, your thumb unlocks your phone. What do you see? A flood of notifications, emails needing answers, messages demanding attention, social media posts that trigger comparison. Before you've even met your own energy, the world has hijacked it. That's not waking up, that's surrendering. Your attention is sacred. The first few moments of your day determine your vibration. Give those to yourself, not to the outside world. Energy leak remedy. Create a tech-free morning ritual, even 10 minutes of presence, gratitude, journaling, or breath work. Let your energy lead the day, not the algorithm. 3. Replaying conversations in your head. This is a silent energy killer. You had a conversation, maybe an argument, or maybe just a weird vibe, but hours later, you're still mentally replaying it. I should have said this. Why did they say that? Did I sound stupid? What did they mean by that? Look, this habit is called mental looping, and it's exhausting. The brain thinks it's solving a problem, but it's just spinning in circles. You're spending energy on a past moment that can't be changed. Every loop is a tiny energy leak. Energy leak remedy. Practice mental release techniques like breathwork, journaling, or ref tapping to cut the cord with past moments. For being around low vibration people, we don't just connect with people through words, we connect energetically. You can feel when someone drains you, even if they polite. Low vibration people often complain constantly, blame others for everything, gossip as their main form of bonding, sprees your dreams or ideas, victimize themselves but never grow. Here's the hard truth, Stuth. Just because you've known someone for a long time doesn't mean they're good for your energy. Energy leak remedy. You don't have to cut people off harshly, but you can limit your exposure. Use to spend more time with people who uplift, inspire, and energize you. 5. Living in a cluttered, chaotic space. Your home is not just where you live, it's where your energy lives. A cluttered environment creates a cluttered mind. Dirty dishes, messy rooms, and visual chaos overload your senses and drain you subconsciously. Even if you think you've adapted to the mess, your nervous system is working overtime to process it. Energy leak remedy. Adopt the principle of energetic minimalism. Create a space that feels clean, calm, and light. You don't need a mansion, just clear space where your soul can breathe. 6. Overcommitting and overscheduling. We glorify busyness. We treat packed schedules like badges of honor. But doing more doesn't mean you're living more. Constantly rushing from task to task is like running with your phone's flashlight on. You won't notice the battery draining until it dies. If you don't schedule rest, your body will schedule it for you through exhaustion, burnout, or illness. Energy leak remedy. Create sacred time blocks in your day to rest, pause, or do nothing. Busyness is not worth sacrificing your peace. 7. Constantly comparing yourself to others. Social media has made it nearly impossible to avoid this. You see someone else's curated highlight reel and suddenly feel behind in life. And doesn't just hurt your confidence, it bleeds your energy because it makes you abandon your path to chase someone else's. And the worst part, you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's stage performance. Energy leak remedy. Every time you catch yourself comparing, pause and affirm, my journey is divine, my timing is perfect, I am enough. Unfollow accounts that trigger insecurity. Follow those who inspire growth, not pressure. 8. Suppressing your emotions. Energy is emotion in motion. When you suppress sadness, anger, or fear, you block your energy flow. You might appear strong or in control, but beneath the surface, that unexpressed emotion becomes energetic weight. It manifests as fatigue, anxiety, or even illness. You can't heal what you won't feel. Energy leak remedy. Create safe spaces to feel your feelings. Cry if you need to. Scream into a pillow. Dance your frustration out. Express, don't suppress. 9. Living out of alignment with your values. Nothing drains you faster than living a life that doesn't match your soul. If you value freedom, but feel trapped in a routine, if you value creativity, but work in a robotic environment, if you value authenticity, but wear a mask to fit in, your energy will rebel. It will resist. It will slowly wither. Energy leak remedy: take inventory of your top 5 values. Then ask, is my life aligned with these values? Even small shifts toward alignment can return massive energy to your spirit. 10. Neglecting your body. Energy lives in the body. And if the body is neglected through poor sleep, bad food, no movement, it becomes a broken container. Sleep deprivation fogs your focus. Junk food creates inflammation and fatigue. Lack of movement causes stagnation. You don't need a perfect diet or six-pack abs. You just need to honor your vessel. Energy leak remedy: drink water, sleep deeply, stretch daily, nourish yourself with real food. Treat your body like it belongs to someone you love, because it does. Recap the 10 silent energy leaks: saying yes when you mean no, looking at your phone first thing in the morning, replaying past conversations in your head, spending time with low-vibe people, living in a cluttered, chaotic space, overcommitting and glorifying busyness, comparing yourself to others constantly, suppressing your true emotions, living out of alignment with your core values, neglecting the needs of your physical body. These are the tiny holes that slowly drain the ocean of your potential. Awareness is power, but action is liberation. Now that you've identified where the leaks are, the next step is choosing which ones to seal. You don't have to do it all at once. Even fixing one leak can restore more clarity and life than you imagined. Because once your energy returns, so does your vision. Your boundaries become clearer, your focus sharpens, your joy multiplies. Energy is not a luxury, it's the foundation of your ability to create the life you deserve. Section 3. Reclaiming your energy through conscious boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're gates of power. Let's get this straight: setting boundaries is not selfish. It's sacred. You've probably been taught that being a good person means always being available, endlessly accommodating, and never saying no. That's a lie. Because the truth is, if you don't guard your energy, someone else will use it for their own gain. People will treat you the way you train them to. If you show them that your time, your peace, your energy are up for grabs, they'll keep taking, not always out of malice, but out of habit. So if you want to reclaim your power, you must start where energy is lost the fastest: your lack of boundaries. 1. What are conscious boundaries? Let's define it clearly. A boundary is a clear line that defines what is acceptable and what is not in your space, emotionally, mentally, physically, and energetically. A conscious boundary is not built from fear or resentment. It is built from self, respect, and clarity. It's not a reactive wall. It's an intentional gate. You decide what enters your life, what stays in your life, what must leave your life. And the more aware you are of your energy leaks, the more powerful your boundaries become. 2. The 5 types of boundaries you must build. Number 1. Time boundaries. Time is your most precious, non-renewable resource. Yet how often do you give hours to tasks that don't matter, get interrupted constantly and say nothing, let others dictate your daily schedule? Time boundaries sound like, I'm not available after 6 p.m. I need 2 hours of uninterrupted focus in the morning. Not you I can't take that on this week. Reclaim your time and you reclaim your direction. Number 2, emotional boundaries. Not everyone deserves access to your emotional world, and just because someone is upset doesn't mean you're responsible for fixing it. Signs of weak emotional boundaries: absorbing others' pain as your own, feeling guilty for saying no, being manipulated by guilt or tears, Emotional boundaries sound like, I hear you, but I can't hold space for this right now. That's your responsibility to manage. My peace is not up for negotiation. You are not an emotional dumping ground. Protect your inner state. Number 3, mental boundaries. Your mind is a sacred temple, not a public suggestion box. Mental boundaries protect your thoughts, beliefs, and mental space. They are broken when people constantly challenge or dismiss your beliefs. You feel the need to justify every decision. Others try to control your thinking. Mental boundaries sound like, I understand your view, but I think differently. I'm not open to debating that right now. Let's agree to disagree. Your mind deserves peace, not endless debate. Number 4, digital boundaries. Your phone is a portal to other people's energy, and if you're not careful, it becomes a leash. Signs you need stronger digital boundaries: checking messages late at night, feeling pressure to reply instantly, constant exposure to toxic content or drama online. Digital boundaries sound like, I don't check messages after 9 p.m. I take social media breaks regularly. I unfollow anything that drains me. You control your screen, not the other way around. Number 5, physical boundaries. This is the most primal, yet often the most overlooked boundary. Your body has a language. If it feels tense, uncomfortable, or violated, it's speaking. Are you listening? Physical boundaries protect your personal space, your energy field, and your bodily autonomy. They sound like, please don't touch me without asking. I need some space right now. I'm not comfortable with that. When you honor your body, it begins to trust you again. 3, the fear of setting boundaries and why you must push through. Here's the truth no one tells you so. When you first set boundaries, it feels uncomfortable. You may feel guilty, selfish, afraid of conflict, worried you'll be abandoned. That's not because boundaries are wrong. It's because you've been conditioned to betray yourself in exchange for love. Let that sink in. You were trained to believe that your needs make you difficult, that your no makes you rude, that your rest is laziness. But that was a lie fed to you by people who benefited from your compliance. Here's what actually happens when you set boundaries. The wrong people fall away. The right people rise in respect. Your energy returns, your confidence grows, your life realigns. It's worth the discomfort. 4, scripts for boundaries. Say these with love and power. Let's make it practical. A real-world scripts to protect your energy without being aggressive. When someone interrupts your work, constantly I'm in deep focus right now. Can we talk after lunch? When someone tries to trip you up, I care about you, but I won't be manipulated by guilt. Let's talk when we're both calm. When someone dumps their emotional pain on you constantly, I'm here for you, but I don't have the capacity to carry this right now. Please consider professional help. When someone wants your time but you need rest, I'd love to catch up, but I'm prioritizing rest this weekend. Let's connect next week. When someone crosses a physical or emotional line that didn't feel okay to me, please don't do that again. Practice saying these out loud. Let them become part of your energetic armor. 5, how to handle pushback from people who don't respect boundaries. Let's be real, some people will push back hard. Why? Because your boundary disrupts their comfort, especially if they've been benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Here's how to stand strong. Stay calm. Don't let their drama become your energy. Repeat your boundary like a broken record, without emotion. Don't over-explain. No is a complete sentence. Let them feel uncomfortable. That's not your job to fix. Walk away if needed. Distance is a form of protection. If someone leaves your life because you respected yourself, that's not a loss. That's a filter. 6, boundaries are a magnet for respect and alignment. Here's the beautiful secret. The more boundaries you set, the more aligned people and opportunities come into your life. Why? Because boundaries create clarity, and clarity is magnetic. When you protect your peace, you radiate power. When you say no with grace, your yes becomes more valuable. When you stop leaking energy, your creativity explodes. You become a safe space not just for others, but for yourself. Recap conscious boundaries in action. Boundaries are sacred, not selfish. There are 5 key areas: time, emotional, mental, digital, physical. Setting boundaries is uncomfortable at first but necessary. The right words and the right tone make a big difference. Pushback is normal, but not your problem. Boundaries attract respect, clarity, and high energy alignment. Final thought: your energy is yours to protect. In a world that constantly demands more of you, having boundaries is an act of rebellion. Not a rebellion of anger, but of radical self-love. You don't owe anyone your exhaustion. You don't have to apologize for your no. You don't need permission to protect your peace. Start small, but start now, because the moment you begin to reclaim your boundaries, you also begin to reclaim your power. Final section. Return to yourself, the ultimate homecoming. After all the concepts, tools, and strategies, let's come back to the deepest truth of all. Your energy is your essence. Your energy is your life. Your energy is your truth. You were never meant to be a sponge for other people's pain. You were never meant to run on empty so others could stay comfortable. You were never meant to dim your light just to make others feel brighter. No, you were born radiant. You were born full. You were born enough. But over the years, through wounds, conditioning, fear, and compromise, you slowly gave your energy away, one unconscious transaction at a time. Until one day, you woke up feeling drained, numb, and lost, wondering how it all slipped through your fingers. This story you've just read, it's not just information. It's a call to come back to the one place that has always been waiting for you, home within. And here's what home feels like. It feels like saying no without guilt. It feels like resting without apology. It feels like loving deeply without losing yourself. It feels like holding space for others while fiercely protecting your peace. It feels like walking through life fully charged, fully aligned, and fully awake. You don't need to burn out to prove your worth. You don't need to give everything away to be valuable. You don't need to carry other people's weight to feel needed. What you need, what you deserve, is to be full of clarity, full of strength, full of life force. So today, take this final truth with you. Soothe you, reclaim your energy, not with rage, but with remembrance. You remember who you are. You remember what matters. You remember that you are sacred. And from that place you begin again, fully awake, fully protected, fully yours. Welcome home.